Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys this really simple beaded macrame plant hanger. Very great project for beginners. Or if you haven't given a plant hanger a try, this would be a great one to start with. It's really simple. The supplies that you need, I have 4 pieces of 2mm cord. Each strand I'm using is 60 inches long, and then once I double it over and tape it together to help put the beads on, it's going to be about 30 inches. I'm using a 2-inch hoop, and then you'll need 3 size beads. The biggest one, you'll need 4 of them. The medium size, you're going to need 24, and then the small ones, you're going to need 48, because we're going to be doing this with 4 different strands. And a little set of pliers helps in case your beads don't go on very easily. It helps to pull the cord through. I'm going to string my beads, then tie my cord onto my loop. Now you could do your cord around your hoop and tie a gathering knot, then string the beads, but I just found it easier to do it this way. I'm going to start off by adding 6 of the small beads, and then we will be adding 3 of the medium sized beads. Now I didn't pull these all the way down until after I put them on the hoop, but you need to leave a little space to do the lark's head knot at the end. So just once you get all the beads on, you can decide how far you want to pull them down, but giving yourself space to easily tie it on. But I'm going to do this on all 4 strands. We're going to do 3 of the medium size, then 1 of the big beads, and then we're going to just reverse it and do 3 medium and 6 small, and we'll do that on all 4. Now that we have all the beads on, we're just going to piece this together. It's really simple to get this all put together. What we're going to do is we're going to tie on each strand with the lark's head knot. At this point, it doesn't matter where your beads are positioned on each strand. We'll adjust that once we get these tied on. I'm going to place my beads about 5 inches from the top. And if your cord starts twisting when you push the beads up, don't worry about it. I started to try to adjust it as I went, but realized at the end I could just easily get the cord from being twisted. So don't worry about that. Just get your beads positioned where you want them, and in the end you can fix the twisted cord at the top. Now we're going to tie a gathering knot. So we're going to have about a 6 or 7 inch piece of cord. I think that was a little bit long for this, but that's what I was using here. You're going to have one end at the top and make a loop, and you need that top end to stick out a little bit, and then just start wrapping it around until you get the length that you want. To finish this knot, you're going to take your cord and put it through the loop here, and then we're going to take the top cord and we're going to pull up. I said this was 7 inches. This cord was way longer than that. Probably 6 or 7 inches would have been about the right size for this. But once you've pulled up on this, you'll just trim off the bottom and pull it a little bit more to hide it, and then trim off the top. Okay, now we have all of our beads positioned and we're going to start tying some knots at the bottom. I'm going to be using alternating half hitch knots. And I was talking about it being a little twisted at the top earlier, so once we start tying knots, we want to make sure that we turn the cord to where it's not super twisted, figuring out which ones are side by side, and then positioning them like this. It may still twist a little bit, which you can adjust later, but making sure they're not completely twisted. And when you tie your first knots, usually I have to adjust them because I want my pot to sit in a certain position. Alternating half hitch knots are extremely simple, and again, we may have to adjust once we tie on this first knot. Sorry, I started doing this knot a little too fast. Let me slow down and show you guys how to do it. So we have two separate strands here. We're going to take a piece of cord, one from each of these. And again, this is called an alternating half hitch knot. So you're going to take the cord that's on your left and place it over the top of the right side and wrap it around, doing a half hitch, but instead of doing the same direction, we're going to switch sides and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now we're going to go around and connect all of these strands using that same knot. So I'm going to grab the strand that's beside this one, making sure it's not twisted at the top. Now I'm going to put the pot inside to test out the position of these knots, and they are a little off. I want there to be a little bit more space between the beads and the knot, and I want the beads to just touch the top of the pot. For mine, it was about 3.5 inches between the knot and the bead. Now we're going to do another round of basically doing the same thing, but we want to connect these. So each section, again, you're going to get one strand from the right side and one strand from the left side, and do another alternating half hitch knot, which I did a plant hanger just using these knots. I'll share all the description in the description box, all of the plant hangers that I've made recently. But we're going to go around and we're going to connect these again. And this is also something that you'll probably have to adjust depending on your pot size. Now I'm just going to place the pot in and test it out. I did do these too short. I needed to make the knots a little bit lower, so it ended up being perfect to make these 3 inches from the top knot for the pot to fit in just right. And our final step will be doing one more gathering knot. I go about 3 inches down and make sure everything is positioned correctly, and go ahead and tie on a gathering knot. I did this one a little bit smaller than the top one, but once you get this gathering knot finished, you'll have your final product. And here's our final product. Remember to check out the description box for more plant hangers and for all the supplies I used in this video. And like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.